friends. Welcome to the International Online Faculty Development Program, which is a second session that is of the fundamentals of quality management powered by Quality Fables. Topic of today's discussion is cascading the training and effective model. Dr. Juran, the father of quality, once said, "Observing many companies in action, I am unable to point out a single instance in which stunning results were got without the active and personal leadership of the upper managers." From this, we understand that training has to cascade from upper level managers to the lower level. Today, we are here to listen and learn from the direct student of Dr. Juran, the Indian quality guru, Sri Suresh Lulla ji. Dear friends, we have with us two distinguished personalities. One, our today's speaker, Lulla ji, the alumnus of IIT Bombay, who has made an indelible mark through his work in the field of quality. Mr. Lulla pioneered the quality movement in India by setting up Qimpro consultants in 1987. Often he is referred to as the quality guru of India. He was mentored by Dr. Juran, who along with Mahatma Gandhi and Sri Ramakrishna Bajaj form the trinity of Mr. Lulla's role models. Qimpro has served reputed Indian business houses, MNCs, SMEs and hospitals. Collectively, these clients have saved more than 25,000 crores as a byproduct of quality improvement, specifically by strategically addressing their cost of poor quality. Lulla ji is a veteran professional with 50 years of experience as a management consultant, speaker, trainer, author, and storyteller. Welcome, Lulla sir.
Thank you.
We also have with us Head of Department of Commerce, Dr. Sandeep Shenoy, a civil engineer with post-graduation and PhD in finance. Dr. Shenoy heads the Department of Commerce and he is also the Director Compliance of MAHE, an institution of eminence. Dr. Shenoy was instrumental in making DOC as the most prominent department of MAHE. Now, may I request Dr. Shenoy to make his introductory remarks. Over to you, Sandeep sir.
Thank you, Dashrath. Very good morning to all of you. November is World Quality Month. It's time to showcase the vital role quality professionals have in achieving excellence through quality and the positive impact quality has made in organizations and communities around the world. In this regard, Qimpro is hosting this program in association with Department of Commerce MAHE as its knowledge partner. This is a golden opportunity for all of you to learn from Sri Suresh Lulla, an IIT alumnus often referred to as Quality Guru of India and founder of Qimpro, which is involved in conceptualizing and organizing various quality awards, competitions, consultancy to corporates. He is the direct student of Dr. Juran and has helped top companies save crores by reducing the cost of poor quality. MAHE, an institution of eminence, is always synonymous with quality and showcased this by winning many national and international quality awards and by finding a place in top global rankings. Today's topic of discussion is about cascading the training and effective model. Training and development is essential for the following reasons. Number one, optimum utilization of human resources. Number two, creating a highly skilled, motivated and enthusiastic workforce. Number three, increase productivity. Number four, to improve quality of work. Number five, to decrease learning period. Number six, to build team spirit. Number seven, healthy work environment, to create a healthy work environment. And number eight, to reduce the cost. Sri Lulla will be discussing this topic through a quality fable along with Dr. Dashrathraj Shetty. Dashrath is an associate professor at MIT Manipal. He is one of the most decorated RBNQ examiners and has contributed MAHE and primarily MIT in its quality journey to achieve excellence. I am proud to quote that Dr. Dashrathraj is my student. Dashrathraj will pole vault the lessons learned from the fable to educational excellence. This is the second in the series of this monthly program. I welcome all of you to join us in this excellence journey. Thank you. Enjoy the session. Over to you, Dashrath.
Thank you, sir, for us. Thank you for your insightful, open remarks. Today, excellence in education is a topic of global interest. Coaches primarily focus on a team, while trainers focus on individuals or small groups. Thus, coaches improve an employee's ability to benefit the team, while a trainer can improve the employee's ability to perform. Let us learn more about learning and training in the organizational context from Lullaji, the author of 100 Quality Fables, and try to pole vault the same to achieve educational excellence. Today's topic is cascading the training and effective model. Over to Lulla, sir.
Thank you. Greetings to all the participants on this first November Sunday. It's probably the first event in the Quality Month being celebrated globally. Thank you, Dr. Sandeep Shenoy, for your warm welcome. We are very grateful to you for the knowledge partnership between Qimpro and the Department of Commerce, Manipal Academy of Higher Education. Thank you, Dashrathraj Shetty, for providing a framework for the faculty development program. The USP of this faculty development program is that it is powered by Quality Fables. A quality fable is not about fiction or animals. These fables are based on real experience and involve real people. I'd like to start by setting the stage with a word I'm sure we will all identify. Trustworthiness. The objective of any human is to be trustworthy. The objective of any educational institution is to produce trustworthy students. And the objective of any organization is to recruit a trustworthy person. So what is trustworthiness? It has two parts. One is in terms of character, which I'm sure you all have been churning, and the other about competencies. In terms of character, we look for integrity. Integrity is manifested in how you keep your promises, how you keep your commitments. Maturity. Maturity in terms of how you define problems. You need to depersonalize them. 3, an abundance mentality. An abundance mentality means you win and I win. It's not I win and you lose. These are probably 3 of the most important characteristics of character. There are more. I won't get into that. Now let's look at competencies. Competencies in hard skills and soft skills. The hard skills can be taught. The soft skills are the troublemaker. We lack competency in soft skills. Soft skills such as teamwork, facilitation, training, etc. Leaders must be extraordinary trainers and coaches. Wow, that's quite a thing. I'd go further. What are the attributes of a good leader? The leader is a trainer, a coach, counselor, facilitator, and recognizer. What is the difference?
Lulla sir, your voice, we are unable to hear you.
So move your hand away from the laptop.
What are the attributes of a leader? A leader is the trainer, coach, counselor, facilitator, and a recognizer. Trainer is one to many students, many participants, one to many. Coach is one to one on skills, hard skills. Even Sachin Tendulkar had a coach. And a coach gives feedback on how to improve. Counselor, one-on-one on behavior. Giving feedback, corrective feedback. Facilitator, enabling a body of people to meet a goal and almost staying invisible. Like a catalyst in a chemical reaction. Recognizer, this is something we have to learn. We have to learn that recognition comes not from trophies, but from positive feedback at the right time, for the right reason, in the presence of my colleagues. Recognize. Now, this is very, very important to understand what are we expecting from a leader. A leader may be a poor manager. A good manager does not necessarily make a good leader. A leader takes you to the vision of the company. A manager runs the mission of the company. Vision of a visionary. Mission of a missionary. Mother Teresa had a mission. She also had a vision. Mahatma Gandhi had a mission, but he also had a vision of independent India. So we need to get this very clear. Who is a leader? All managers are not leaders. I was taught by one of my clients at Voltas, Mr. Bir Singh. You need to have the mind of a manager. but you need to have the soul of a leader, mind of a manager, soul of a leader. So I'm going to move on to sweating the training. Let's go back to 30 years. 30 years back, pre-liberalization, big breakthrough for business machines.
So please move back a little bit. Your sound is not coming clear.
Is that better?
Yes, sir, you're audible now. Yeah.
Yeah. 30 years back, our environment saw breakthroughs in the development of business machines. Business machines as well as fax machines. These were revolutionary. I'm talking of that time. And it was a multinational organization based out of Rochester that tied up with a family business in India based out of Delhi to form a business machine company. Now, it being new technology, the youngest member of the family, adult family, was invited to chair the company by the family. He was a PhD in business administration, Dr. So-and-so. This company was located, as I mentioned, in North India and was a preferred employer of IITs, not just Delhi IIT, but IITs across Bombay, Kharagpur, Kanpur. And candidates preferred it because it was a learning experience working for this company.
So your papers are covering the mic.
The candidates preferred this company because they learned a lot and they came to the state of the art. MBAs, IIMs, everywhere. So I visited this chair in trying to wrap up business for Qimpro. This was 1989. And this young chairman, he was completely stressed out. I couldn't believe it. He was formally dressed. He was a little roly-poly, not like you see in this graphic. He was a little roly-poly. And was sweating it out. Absolutely. So, my question to him was,
So I think the mic, you will have to take it bit near.
why this stress? And he told me that he had received a call from his European office in Switzerland to attend a top management training program in Switzerland. So I told him, that's nice. His reaction was, that's not nice. So I inquired, why? And he told me that a debriefing session involved absorb the content from a trainer's paradigm. You're not attending as a practitioner. You are attending the course training. He said, what do I have to learn? I'm a PhD in business school. He was then told, replicate the training for your senior managers. 3, in turn, the senior managers will have to replicate the training for middle managers. And you have to coach each of these senior managers. Attend a training from a trainer's paradigm and be a coach. Apart from being a trainer, be a coach to the senior managers. And get familiar with this course material before you come. You don't want to be in a classroom and be told the obvious. So I inquired, what is this training material about? And he gave me a smile. He said, we're going to spend half a day on how to conduct a meeting. My head office believes that meetings can be a cost of poor quality. Do you relate to this? 2, the second session will be on, the second half day will be on how to keep a team on track at a meeting. We go off on many tangents. How do you steer a meeting to the objective? 3, the third session, third half-day session, is on clarifying and confirming. Most problems occur because I thought you meant this. Are we clear in our communication? Are we clear that the other party has understood? Four, giving positive and corrective feedback. We're all good at giving negative feedback. And we can have outbursts about this. But a good leader gives positive feedback at the right time and corrective feedback. The troublemaker is we don't know the syntax for corrective feedback. You become a bit of a coach in that, or a counselor. And then we will have a session on resistance to change. Why do people resist change? It's not for the stated reason. It's for the social consequence of the change. Social consequence on me for the change. It may be good for the institution, for the organization, but it certainly is not good for me. It makes me redundant. And the last session will be on listening skills. Think of any leader you admire. I am sure you will find that the leader speaks very little, but listens to a lot. In school, we are taught reading, writing, speaking, everything else, but we are not taught listening. How do you listen? Now, this is the kind of course material. He thought it was ridiculous. He's an adult. He knows how to do a meeting. He knows how to order people around. Are you telling me I don't know how to communicate? Are you telling me I'm not empathetic with my employees? If there's resistance, fire them. He didn't understand the power of what that material was. Now I understood why this chairman was so stressed out. There's a huge gap between what the head office expected of a leader and what a family inheritor came to be a chairman.
So you are not audible.
I finally understood. Can you hear me now?
Yes, sir.
Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
I finally understood why this chairman was stressed. There was a huge gap between being a professional leader and a family business leader. What are the lessons? Training starts at the top. If you have to invest in training, invest at the top. If you have to invest in training, invest at the top. Can training be a cost of poor quality? How do we keep KRAs for the training department? So many man hours of training per employee, right? Now assume you are the head of training. You make a plan. And in that plan, you have a calendar announcing different courses, hard skills, soft skills. And you hope to meet your KRA through execution of this calendar. So now it's Friday. And the next batch for a course is to start on Monday. we have only 3 registrations. We have only 3 registrations. And to conduct a batch, we need 10. So what do? I pick up the phone and call my best friends. Yaar, please send somebody for this batch. I have to meet my KRA. And so your friends oblige. Who do they send? The ideal person in the department. This ideal person is probably looking for a job somewhere else. So who are you training? We need to train the right people at the right time. That will lead to economy of a budget. I'd add one more point. Education without action is easily forgotten. Education with action is remembered. If you have no action, a week from the day of the training, 20% will have been forgotten. 2 weeks later, 50% will be forgotten, and thereafter it will be history. How do you correct this? Through your vision. Remember, I spoke of vision. Your strategic plan to reach the vision. What is strategy? Vision deployment. To meet a strategic goal, the goal selects the team, not the team, the goal. Let me repeat. The strategic goal selects the team. And the team members will need a different kind of coaching, each one. That is when you get effective training. Got it? Leaders must be extraordinary trainers and coaches. Do you recall Jack Welch? Who redefined quality for high volume production. And he wanted to give it an exciting name. So he called it Six Sigma. What is Six Sigma? It is problem solving for high volume production. Jack Welch actually conducted classes for top management every quarter at their training center. The training Cascading. A cascading model for training is most cost-effective. Debriefing is a key step for effective training. What are my expectations of you after you have been trained? Don't just send me for training. Why are you training me? What are your expectations? What ROI will you get on me? Return on I is individual. What are your expectations? The training process starts with debriefing and ends with coaching the next level. How long is that? It's probably 10 times more than the actual classroom. Preparing for the training, attending the training, conducting the training, and coaching the next level. In a cascading model, the pre and post training is at least tenfold. I've already covered. The key concepts included in the training in the cascading model, by repeating and repeating and repeating, get internalized and therefore become action.
Thank you, sir, for that wonderful presentation. I think I'll come back to the question answer session once I share some of the best practices that are related to your talk, which I am able to relate to your today's talk, and then come back to the question answer session and then summarize our today's learning. I'll share my screen now.
Yes, Raja.
There is some error. I can't see. Yeah, okay. I think there was some error. I was talking, but I couldn't see the screen. Okay. So this is a story about the scientist. So this was a scientist who was actually conducting some experiment about the monkeys. So what happened is when he was conducting this experiment, suddenly he saw that the part of the brain that actually fires up when the monkey eats the food got fired up. Actually, the monkey was not eating the food. Actually, the scientist was eating the food, and monkey was seeing the scientist eating the food. And scientist was shocked to see the monitor that the same neurons that would light up when the monkey eats the food lit up when it saw the scientist eating the food. Later on, what happened is the scientist further studied the matter, and he came to know that what was happening is the monkey was observing the scientist, and it was empathizing, or it was feeling the same way as if the scientist was as if it was eating the food instead of the scientist. My dear friends, what we can observe here is that just by seeing or listening or understanding from someone who has actually experienced the situations, we tend to empathize and feel ourselves in the same situation. So it is always good to listen from the actual people who have faced the real-time situations, so from the same people who have actually taken decisions during the critical times. So always it matters if a top person who has undergone the training passes it on to the lower person, it has a higher impact. So today, during our Lulla sir's presentation, we came to know that leaders' functions are like being a trainer, being a coach, being a counselor, being a facilitator, being a recognizer, was the various functions of the leader. So here, if you see, the leader also is a trainer, he is also a coach. So here, when the employees see their leader, being a trainer or being a coach, they would surely empathize more and they would take the learning in a much better manner. So cascading the learning has a higher impact. And Lulla sir also told us that during the presentation, all the managers are not leaders. And leader, all the people in the managerial position should have mind of the manager and soul of the leader. So having a mind of the manager is always required. So soul of a leader plays a very vital role. So that soul to soul connection happens when the employees listen to the top people sharing their experience, and they would take it in a right spirit, and the learning happens much more faster, my dear friends. So with this background, that the top leader sharing the experience with the lower ones or peer-to-peer sharing has an higher impact, I would like to share some of the best practices that I see in my organization, that Manipal Academy of Higher Education and MIT, which I am the part of. The first best practice that I would like to share is about the annual fixed grants and knowledge sharing. So if you see in MIT or across the University of Manipal Academy of Higher Education, each of the faculty members is given a lump sum annual fixed grant to attend conferences or workshops. And even in the performance evaluation, he is given extra credit for attending conferences and workshops along with the funds. So this is the beauty of it. So once we attend workshops and conferences and come back, we are always encouraged to share our learnings with our juniors or with our peers in the departmental meetings, so that whatever learning we get there, might be through interaction or might be through presentation or might be by attending workshop, we share it with our peers and juniors. So as Lulla sir said during his presentation, this also is an effective cascading model. It saves some cost. You imagine training everyone, it's difficult, and everyone attending the same workshop, it is difficult. But different people attending various parts of the globe, various parts of the country, attend, learn, and share their experience. This has a higher impact and saves cost also. So here, this is one of the best practices of MAHI. The next best practice is about the SMILE program. So about the SMILE program, so all the organizations talk about succession planning. If you see top corporates, this is a very big thing for them, succession planning. Any quality award or any quality program you see, succession planning plays has a special place. But MIT and MAHE is a pioneer here. You might have not heard all the educational institutions going for a succession planning program. We have one succession planning program called as Synergic Manipal Integrated Leadership Engagement Program, that is SMILE program in MAHE. So where the university selects the set of possible or potential future leaders and trains them to take up the top leadership roles in the future. Under SMILE program, once again, the top leaders who are in the top managerial positions come and share their experiences, knowledge with the people or the potential leaders of the future. Once again, cascading from the top to the future potential leaders. So once again, all of them would be able to relate directly with the top people, because they are the people who have actually faced the situations. They have learned from the mistakes. They have learned from the right decisions and so on. So the cascading of learning from the top to the future leaders happens here under the Synergic Manipal Integrated Leadership Engagement program. So this is the best practice you can find in you cannot find in many of the educational institutions, and MAHE, being an institution of eminence, has instituted this a decade back. And also has an integrated mentorship program. As sir said, we have under the training, training, we have trainers and coaches. So if you have trainer, you have one-to-many, and if you are a coach, you have one-to-one. So here you have one-to-one coach or a mentor who is assigned to a potential future leader, and he performs a live project under the mentorship of the top person, and he sees how the results are obtained, and both of them, the mentor guides the mentee, and both of them learn together, both of them guide each other. So this is the beauty of the SMILE program, or Synergic Manipal Integrated Leadership Engagement program. The next best practice about which I would like to share about from my organization is the setting up of Center for Continuing Education and Interprofessional Development. So the aim of this particular center is to create an atmosphere for continuing learning through conferences, symposia, workshop, and colloquy. In the sense, if you see my best practice one, where people were sent outside the organization to see the world and learn from there and share it here. Here, this particular cell organizes in-house training programs where the top leadership people come and train their subordinates and groom the managers or teachers to take up managerial roles, or also perform their day-to-day teaching work or training works. So this actually helps them to, increase their efficiency in teaching and learn new skills for delivering lectures in the classroom. If you see during this pandemic situation, what had happened is we had to suddenly switch over from our conventional offline class delivery to the online class delivery. So within 1 week, Manipal could switch over from the normal conventional delivery after the lockdown to the online mode. Why this was possible? Because of this cell at the university level, and we have a faculty welfare cell in Manipal MIT. The associate directors, the joint director, and other people at the top, they themselves sat in the training programs, saw what are the shortcomings, what are the things that have to be tweaked, and learn from that, and they themselves train the next level teachers, so that the teachers also feel comfortable that our top people know that what are the problems, how things can be made better. And within 1 week, the whole organization was delivering its teaching through the online mode. So with this, my dear friends, these are the 3 best practices from Manipal, which I thought I would share, and which is actually related to Lulla sir's talking, and which my organization has adopted, and I'm proud of the same. Thank you, Lulla sir. I hope I have been able to relate it with the teaching that you gave us today.
Excellent, excellent. Thank you, Raja.
Now we move on to the question answer session. Lulla sir, during your presentation, the first question would be from my side itself. During the presentation, you said the fable was related to a person from a family-owned business, and he felt that he was already ready to face the situations, and when he saw the topics, he was not that comfortable. Now he rose to the rank, maybe because he comes from that particular family. But one thing, what happens in educational institutions is most of the time, you rise the ranks because of the seniority, especially in the education domain. The number of years of experience really matters to take up some managerial role. So how do you compare that with the family-owned business concept in the industry?
You'll have to paraphrase that question.
In the sense, if you see in the teaching domain, the people who rise up the ranks are usually who have some number of years of experience. Whereas if you see in the corporate domain, the number of years of experience doesn't matter. It matters if he is performing, or maybe he rises up the rank because he comes from a particular family. Now, both of them would be sharing their experience with their next level. Which one is more effective, or what's your take on that?
Tough one. uh, in education, the path to going up is pretty clear what your prerequisites are, what you should have completed, quantum of research. There are many factors. And research is an important part in education that qualifies you for the next level of professorship or what have you. Just having a doctorate doesn't automatically qualify you for a senior position. It is what you have accomplished through your knowledge, through your wisdom, that takes you to the next level. So many years in a certain level only says it's a pre-qualification. Does that justify you have become a head of a department? Results have to speak. You've got a standing example in this meeting, Dr. Sandeep Shetty. He delivered results. The department has grown enormously. And that comes from a lot of knowledge, a lot of understanding, a lot of vision. So, I don't know if I'm answering your question correctly, but I don't see an automatic evolution, even in education. You may have a designation, but are you seen to be that? Who are the teachers you remember from your education? They're the ones who called you in to their cabin and they spoke to you and they explained some things to you that you probably haven't understood in class. They empathized with you. The struggle was on the face of the student. And these are coaches. The training in the class is just one aspect of it. If I'm misbehaving in the classroom, being noisy, being disruptive, I would be called to the professor's cabin and counseled as to this is not on. You are disturbing the whole class and my thought process as a teacher. So I see a similarity in the leadership qualities in education. In fact, leaders in industry should borrow from education. They should borrow from practices from education to become effective leaders. I'm going to give a twist to this. A lesson from Dr. Juran is how do you build an infrastructure for excellence? How do you build an infrastructure, not just for quality, or excellence. The first step is you need a quality management system. We all know that. We have it in education, business, and healthcare. Second, you need to identify your customer supplier chain. You may be having a visiting professor. That visiting professor is a supplier. You may be having catering from outside for the canteen. You need to look at your customer supplier chain. Next is, how do you get a total organization involved? You have to put quality goals into the job design and performance appraisal. Think of it. It applies even to the educational institution. Quality, your customer is the student sitting there. Society, employers, these are your customers. What are the quality features in your job design and performance appraisal and promotion policy? Promotion policy. Then he said, knowledge management. I said, please explain. I know data management. I've heard of information management. What is knowledge? Isn't it the same? He said, no. Raw data, when treated with quality tools, becomes information. Information, when applied, becomes knowledge. The most underemployed asset in an organization is the knowledge resident in the people. And finally, I know I'm taking long, finally, education and training. I said, what's the difference? He said, education for tomorrow's responsibilities. Training for today's responsibilities. Over to you, Raja.
Thank you, sir. There are a couple of questions from the audience. So one of the faculty members, he's from Chhattisgarh, and he is asking, what is the impact of telling or sharing some problem to the person who is a coach? Will it result in a negative impact if I share some truth with the coach? How can we believe the coaches? It was a question from the audience.
But you've got to trust the coach. Is the coach trustworthy?
And there is one more question. Strategic goals selects the team. What is your take on that? Are teams the sole result of strategic goals, or teams are selected on the skill sets?
No, it is on the job they're doing. The strategic goal is not based on their skill set. Skill sets have to be provided through the training gap.
There is one more question. It is said that training starts at the top. Agreed. But those who are trained should cascade their training to the subordinates so that everyone will be dancing to the same tune. Is it so?
Absolutely. That's the whole purpose of this cascading model. And it's the most economical model for training.
Okay. So these are some of the questions that were from the audience. Uh, we have reached the 11 o'clock mark. Now it's the time for me to summarize whatever we have learned today. So before that, I would request Lulla sir to just give an overview of our next session, which will be on December 6th.
The next session, I will talk about the difference between strategic planning and operational planning. Quite often it's mistaken that strategic planning is just an extrapolation of a long-term plan. At times, a strategic plan may be short-term. Look at the COVID crisis. We changed our strategy. There's also another part, tactical planning, which I will touch on in the next session. So there are different kinds of planning, and we shouldn't confuse one with the other. We need all, including financial planning, the budgeting. That's all I'd say.
Thank you. Dear friends, in today's session, we had started with a fable that was related to one of the Indian multinationals, which was in photocopying domain. So during the course of discussion, we came to know that competency can be either hard or either can be of soft form. Hard skills can be taught, whereas the problem areas lies in the soft skill domain, and it needs more concentration there. Lulla sir also summarized and told us that a leader's role is to be a trainer, be a coach, and also be a counselor. And his job is also to recognize the good work of his subordinates. And one phrase what I liked the most was, all managers are not leaders. So especially in the teaching domain, we may be great teachers, but will we be great managers depends upon our performance. But if we listen to the people who are already on the top and understand from their experiences or learn from their experiences, no doubt the people in the teaching domain who will be taking up the role of managers in the future will be able to perform better. The next sentence, what we learned was mind of the manager and soul of a leader. And this was one of the beautiful learnings, in the sense a manager will be looking after all the parameters which are very vital, where a leader will lead his team to perform. And so that's the soul to soul connection which a leader will have with his employees. And during the course of the fable, we also saw that the name of the sessions which the leader there in the fable was about to attend. Some of the topics were, can the meetings be related to cost of poor quality? How to keep a team motivated, clarifying and confirming. And these were some of the, and one more was positive and corrective feedback. So he also spoke about, all of us can give negative feedback, but how many of us are able to give that positive feedback so that a person can improve? And giving a positive feedback is a skill that has to be developed. And one of the one more session was on listening skills, and I understand as leaders will have to be great listeners. So these were the session names which the manager or the person in the top position was about to attend. Don't you think all these lessons are relevant even today, especially the question of can meetings be COPQ, cost of poor quality. Today, we are in the pandemic era, and the number of meetings we are attending today is highest, I feel. Earlier, if we are attending one or two meetings a week, there are instances today where we are attending 2 or 3 meetings a day. So it is relevant even today. My dear friends, with all these learnings, hope we have been able to understand how learning is important, how cascading model of learning is important, and how also it is a most cost effective model. Dear friends, thank you very much for sparing your time on a Sunday with us. Thank you, Lulla sir, for always being with us and giving us new insights. We also thank Dr. Sandeep Shannai and all the faculty members of Department of Commerce for always supporting us and being with us. Thank you, Team Qimpro, for hosting this program. Thank you, Mr. Namesh, for all the background technical support and posting those questions for us. Thank you, one and all. Have a great Sunday. Thank you.